All right, well, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, man. Hopefully, the Most High Yahweh is blessing your day. By His mercies, we are consumed. We're alive in the Most High Yahweh's body, too naturally alive. And yeah, man, we're going to get into this, man, because honestly, um, we're going to look at this, man, as far as like, because I was looking at Jude the other day, or watching a class, and they was talking about Jude the other day, and how, man, really, honestly, flesh and blood, man, can't enter into the kingdom, man, and honestly, too, like even the inward kingdom, man, can. That's why it says walk in the. No, let's look at this, man. Let's go to Galatians 5 real quick. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 16. It says, "Then I say, then walk in the spirit, and not shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." See, exactly, man. That's nope. Yeah, and that's why. No, let's go to Sirach real quick, because that's all that proves that a lot of times too, that lust isn't always things that's sexual, of course. Like we talked about this, of course, but when it says go not after that lust, man, because you can lust for anything, though, man. But really, we just want to establish that, man, because let's go Ecclesiastes, Sirach chapter 18 verse 30. It says, "Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thy appetites." Exactly, man. So, because how do we do that? By walking in the spirit, man. So it says, then verse Galatians chapter 5 verse 16. It says, "Then I say, then walk in the spirit, ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." Exactly, man. It's, verse 16. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit is against the flesh, and these things are contrary to one another, and so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. So see, this goes back to the beginning with Genesis 3, man, like the serpent, the seed of the Most High Yahushua, seed of God and the serpent seed. And that's why it says in Proverbs, it's kind of going into what Proverbs says, the just is abomination to the unjust, and vice versa, man. Like, so let's get a look at that real quick. Then we go way up. Yeah, because this is kind of semi saying that too. But let's get Proverbs chapter 29 verse 27. It says, "An unjust man is an abomination to the just." So the unfaithful is abomination to the faithful, and the unfaithful is abomination to the faithful. And he that's upright is the way is in the way of the abomination to the wicked. So see that. So let's look at this again. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 27. "And unjust is an abomination to the just, and he that's upright in the abomination. He that's upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked." So see it in the way. What's that way? Yahushua. I'm the truth, the way, the life, all that stuff. So let's read 17 again. It says, "For the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit itself lusts against the flesh. But these things are contrary to one another, so that you could you do the things that ye would." So see that. So yeah, man. Let's get Jude. Then we're gonna to close out, because strange flesh, man, I can't enter into the kingdom, inward kingdom, and the physical kingdom, man. Honestly, so because flesh and blood can't enter into the kingdom, especially strange flesh, man. Like with odious works, but. Let's get Jude chapter 1 verse 7. "Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, cities about them in like manner, gave themselves over to fornication, going after strange flesh, and are set forth an example of suffering the vengeance of eternal fire." So see, we're gonna try to grab that to shout to brothers, believers away in California, Rock Design, because they showed it. Because don't you know that Sodom and Gomorrah to this day is still on fire? It's not like burning like like a building on fire, but if you like spark fire like one of their rocks, put fire to one of the rocks, it's gonna burn. Honestly, it's gonna turn into brimstone to this day. So that's how the Most High Yahweh's word and judgments are true, man. Because it is what it is. But we're gonna try to find that soon, Lord willing. But yeah, man. But let's read this again. Jude chapter 1 verse 7. It says, "Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities and them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication, going after strange flesh, are set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire." So see that? Yeah, man, that's crazy. I was watching that Sodom and Gomorrah movie last night. But I fell asleep during it though. But let's get 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 50. Let's and we're going to close out. It says, now I say this, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh, neither do corruption inherit incorruption. Yeah, and that goes back to the Psalms when he says he will not let his Holy One see corruption, man. So that's just is what it is, man. So in this resurrection of the dead, living eternally, man. So that's just is what it is. So let's get to Psalm 16. Psalm 16, verse 10. It says, for thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, yet in the grave and in death. Neither thou shalt suffer the Holy One to see corruption. So yeah, just talking about Yahweh shall resurrect him from the dead, man. But really, man, flesh and blood can't enter in the kingdom. One, the inward kingdom, then of course the physical kingdom. But the inward kingdom, man, you gotta walk in the spirit, not the flesh, man. So, this is what it is, man. So hopefully it's edifying. So much love to you, brothers and sisters. So peace.